Life is just a distraction from the intrusive thoughts, as it turns out.
You mean adulthood? Press A to play!
And we're live. Hello, everyone.
Celesting time. Let's
Celeste
do it.
time. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready to climb.
Yeah.
You ready to climb? I'm ready to climb.
We played for almost 5 hours the last time?
Yep.
That's, oh wow,
It felt like 20 minutes, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, you two were playing for quite a while.
Yeah, this game is very captivating, I guess. It's very good at holding your attention.
Also very Canadian.
Super Canadian. Like we discussed last time, it really brings attention to the Canadian struggle that is having to deal with wild, crazy winds, giant mountains on the way to the grocery store, alternative versions of yourself attacking you.
Strawberries run amok.
Strawberries run amok, sometimes flying.
Oh.
Now, I remember last time you were saying that you wanted us to go over the story that we had missed because we were talking about stuff.
Yeah, so these two were talking last time we stopped, and we were talking over a lot of their conversation, which was actually kind of interesting because, and I'm not sure where we are in their conversation in this version of the game because I think it loads up right where it left off. But I believe he was talking about how Alex was his sister. So I think last time I had assumed that he may have dead-named Maddie, but he had not.
Yeah.
Alex was actually his sister, and he had simply confused the two. And he was talking about his relationship with his sister, and Maddie was talking about some things she had gone through, largely to do with depression, anxiety attacks, things like that. I'm not sure if it will go back there, but I do want to see if this will continue the conversation from where we left off, or if it'll let us recap.
Let's do it.
Mrs. Wait. It's all coming back to me now. That actually happened. Thanks for getting us out of there. Hey.
Their little voices are adorable.
Yeah,
I
the Animal
miss those
Crossing
voices.
style voice is amazing. Let's see. What's really going on here? Clearly.
Yeah, at this point, it's safe to say it isn't.
What's really going on here? We're in Canada. Should have told you sooner. Already the wounds, a part of me escaped.
Like Dark
from
Maddie, right? Yeah.
Dark Maddie, Whammy, Waddy.
Oh yeah, that was the, yeah. It's all coming back to me now. Just like with Theo, I'm remembering it, and yeah, it happened.
Exactly. You think the mountain made her real? Yeah.
Okay, now I'm thinking back to Captain Kirk climbing a mountain, but maybe that's just me.
I didn't watch enough of the original Star Trek.
Oh no, this is like YouTube culture. It's not even like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I'll get back to it later. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, so she lashed out at Mr. Oshiro, and she was the reason the gondola stalled out, which was interesting because Oshiro was an interesting section, right? Like on the one hand, you want to help him. On the other hand, Theo's not entirely wrong that you should set healthy boundaries, but on the other hand, Theo was too willing to run away, in my opinion. So
it was tragic more than anything, really.
Yeah, I think the right way was between the two of them.
Yeah.
Set healthy boundaries, but also actually help people.
Yeah.
And she was there in the temple.
Waddy, right?
Waddy.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something? I wouldn't have gone into the temple if I knew what this mountain was capable of. I love that the mountain is always highlighted. Jerk.
I love her sort of petulant look.
Yeah.
Like, it really works for me.
It really does. I also like that Waddy's name is always like waggling, so it's just, you could have mentioned that your demon doppelganger was like on the loose. It has the same energy as like when you capitalize every other letter in an online sentence, I didn't even believe myself. That's so common, Maddie. Do you, Theo? Do you?
Yeah,
Aww.
I mean, I think I like Theo, but I'm still not sure about Theo.
Right, like slightly on the fence there?
Yeah.
How long were you out for, Theo?
Oh, damn.
A few hours, damn. Man, what a ride.
Theo's really good at trivializing everything.
Yeah.
That's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, aside from the existential crisis, I'm good. I see. So Theo is just very good at compartmentalizing, I think.
Yeah.
Why is it so easy for you to trust me when I have a demon doppelganger on the loose? And we're on a weird mountain. Yep, there it is. This is the conversation we missed last time. That's adorable. It is adorable. Oh, you hear how her voice pitch changed?
Yeah.
It's so cute. Okay, she's a literal rock
Oh,
star.
wow.
She's a musician. That is very cool. She's not, okay, come on, man.
Oh, God, he's one of those people. No, 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 no.
She's just amazing at everything. Oh, damn. All right.
Rockstar, civil
Right.
rights lawyer, civil rights lawyer.
Fair enough. So deep in your own heads. That's fair. Amazing internal compass. Obviously, she'll get where she needs to be. Nice. I can see that in you too. Aw. Wish I could say the same for myself. Well, who do you think built the temple, Theo?
I mean, temples usually, yeah. Oh,
Must
wow.
predate everything on the mountain. It's a very dangerous temple.
Damn.
There's a lot of history here. It is a whole mountain. Oh, she's the hermit of the mountain, obviously. She's just the spirit of the mountain and you don't know. She does seem pretty content. Anyway, thank you for believing in me. Thank you, Theo. Aw. Okay, that was actually
I'm
quite
warming up to
nice.
him.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
warming
that
up
was
to
actually
him.
really sweet.
There's some actual self-reflection in there. There's some good stuff.
Yeah. Aww.
Yeah, I'd have to say that this and the petulant look are my favorites of Maddie. Like,
No.
the portraits.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fair. You're the one who's dead set on climbing this mountain. And you don't even know why. Well, alright, Theo.
Classic Alex. Such an
You're
Alex thing to
classic
do.
Alex.
Just Alexing all over the place.
Aw. He's just teasing. Why are you climbing the mountain? Well, I'm discovering I'm trans, but I won't know until later.
Spoiler alert!
I'm stuck in a cycle. It's like a bicycle, but with one wheel. Preaching to the choir. Am I?
Yeah,
fair.
it's the exact same thing.
It's definitely the same. The grind, may I
Yeah.
say. Rick is fine,
Another
actually.
day, another dollar, right, Theo?
Right? I'm going crazy. Yeah, I know. I always feel like that too. I'd read the next bit of text, but a technician is kind of in front of the text.
Sorry.
Is it moment?
For some reason, this camera is,
On the fritz?
yeah, a little bit.
Stop fritzing.
It's showing me squares that make it seem as if it's doing some face detection stuff, and I have no idea why it's doing it, but there's a square around Callie's
I
head.
do have a face, but you need to stop fritzing.
God, stop being such a square, Cal. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Why is your face so square? I'm gonna cut
Classic
the video for a
Callie.
second.
Circle transition is difficult, okay?
It is.
I'm more of a triangular guy myself.
Fair. You wouldn't fit the mold. This is fair. But you know, yeah, just going from a square to having curves is just really difficult
Oh, yeah.
sometimes, okay? You gotta get used to circle jokes. So many things about wheels.
Yeah, so I'm having an
yeah,
issue with the
oh.
HDMI output because there's these squares around your heads, and
I hope y'all like BTS things. Yeah, fair enough.
we're just gonna have to roll with it. Sorry.
Fair enough. Okay, well, everyone will know exactly where our faces are.
Now people will be all like knowledgeable about what happens behind the scenes and like the professional live streams, because that's what this is.
We have
So
faces
pro.
confirmed.
Totally profesh.
Yeah, I can
Absolutely.
confirm that you both have faces and that the camera sees them.
Perfect. You know, I'm sure the fans were wondering if I had a face. So, like, now they know.
Now they know for sure.
Now they know for sure.
that you definitely have a face.
My brain fixes on these stupid things that happen forever. Oh my god, I know that feeling. Do you always get intrusive thoughts from like 13 years ago when you said something stupid?
I don't
Like-
think I have any other thoughts. apart from
Right? Like,
intrusive
that's
ones.
basically all that happens, actually. Life is just a distraction from the intrusive thoughts, as it turns out.
You mean adulthood?
None of it even matters. I know what you mean, Maddie. And yet, it's still there.
No.
Aw, I know what that feels
We
like.
love you, Maddie.
We love you, Maddie. It is rough.
I like this portrait way more on Theo because the other ones
Right?
just make him look smug.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he's not looking smug, he looks, he's friendly, he's warm.
Yo, Faye says morning cuz is from New York.
Oh,
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, cuz. You don't talk to anyone about it? Nah, except my cousin Faye sometimes. No, not really.
I mean, you mean the chat.
The
I
chat.
apologize. Yes,
The
I
chat.
apologize. Faye, you are now the chat, just so you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're now the sole representative of the chat.
Yo,
Wield this
JP
power
says,
well.
what's up from Harlem?
What? Oh, we have that.
We have a chat.
We have an actual
Yeah.
chat.
For clarification, not the Harlem from the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Different Harlem.
I mean, the one in the US is named after ours, though. so-
OG Harlem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knows I get depressed and have panic attacks. Oh.
Now we just need
about
someone
it.
from Brooklyn and someone from Breukelen, and then we're good to go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we'll have to reach out. We'll do some outreach. No wonder you feel trapped. How do you cope with anything? I don't know, Theo. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I drink mostly. Right. This is the part that we skipped over last time that I wanted to make sure we paid attention to. Yeah, fair. A lot of people do.
Self-medication.
Yeah, obviously it's not great. I hope you get help if that's the case. But yeah. And get mad at people on the internet. Also very true.
There's a lot of people to get mad at, though, so yeah.
There are many people to get mad at. Because, like, especially nowadays, it's a little trickier. Because Celeste came out before the trolls went super duper extra hard, before the trolls went Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
So, you know, at the time it was like, don't feed the trolls. Now it's like, you know what? There are times when it's justified. What brought you to the mountain?
Yeah, what are you doing here, Theo?
Yeah, Theo. You just here to look smug? He's just kind of bumming around.
This guy.
See?
As usual.
As usual.
Per
I
usual.
decided to come to the creepy supernatural mountain and risk my life in Canada as usual. Started this new job in Seattle. Thought I finally knew what I was supposed to be doing with my life. But I hated it. Oh, I know that feel. So I quit after a week and hopped the bus to Canada.
Ah.
Well, damn, all right, you're spontaneous. I just felt this urge to get lost in the middle of nowhere. I cannot relate to that one. That's more of a man thing. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I realize how flaky it sounds.
I've had like 6 jobs in the last 3 years. I feel you, Theo. I feel you.
Right? Fair enough. Although I will say, like, we have friends who I think have wanted to, like, basically go out into the woods and get lost in the middle of nowhere recently. And you know what? I'm starting to understand. And just screw it. I don't want to remember civilization exists.
Yeah.
It just sounds like you're under a lot of pressure. Yeah, modern day society, eh? Not really. Well, all right. Everyone is so patient with me. Though I guess I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself.
I worry
okay.
about Theo. Yeah, I think...
Right? It's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think we all feel a little directionless.
Okay, so that's not a hint to our
No,
next
that's just
stream. I
just
mean-
random stuff. Yeah.
Well, JP would love it, though, if we played Morrowind, and I get that.
I don't think anyone would watch it, to be fair, because I love Morrowind. Don't get me wrong.
It's probably, like, atmosphere-wise my favorite of the bunch, but yeah.
Same. You know what?
It sounds like our chat is on the same vibe.
Yeah?
Yeah, JP says, I kind of feel this emotion, and Faye says, fair, who needs society?
Right? Exactly, guys. We should
Yeah.
all just go make a commune in the woods. Let's just go buy some wood cutting axes. We'll hit up a nature store, a hiking store. You can tell I'm sporty because I know what they're called, and then we'll go out to the woods.
How hard could it possibly be, right? Our species did it for a few millennia. We could
Right?
probably figure it out.
And we have steel, like I'm just saying. Do you mind talking about what depression is like? All right, yes, this is when things I think got a little harder as well. It sucks. Yep, agreed. Definitely agreed. But what does it feel like? It doesn't feel like anything, Theo. That's the problem. Alex struggles with it too. I really want to understand. We can talk about something else if you want. Fair enough.
No.
Aw, it's good to be nice. It's like I'm at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, this was the conversation specifically that I stopped this at, or I wanted to point out, because I actually really liked the way Maddie put it, and I would agree with a lot of the sensations that she describes, that she uses to describe the feeling. I'm at the bottom of the ocean. I can't see anything in any direction. It's claustrophobic, yet I feel exposed. I remember feeling normal, but now it just feels out of reach no matter what I try. And that's, I think all of that was very relatable to me at least, and I think to a lot of people with depression. Then again, I was probably always messed up. Who isn't? Just saying, like,
I don't know about you two, but I'm totally normal.
Right, of course. You're 1,000% normal.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a regular person.
It just took something hurtful to bring it out. Yeah, fair enough. Must be something wrong with me. I know that feeling as well. Whatever happened, I'm sure it's not your fault. Yeah, like sometimes the problem is like neurological, or sometimes it's a problem that happens fairly early on and it feels like it's just always been there, but I mean, it is what it is, right?
That's the scary one, where like depression doesn't feel like depression because it's just kind of recurrent or chronic.
It's all you know, yeah. I don't know if it's, I mean, it's probably gonna get argued with, but one of my favorite phrases to use is that fish don't really see water.
Yeah, that's
right.
Exactly.
If you live in it constantly, you don't really notice it.
Then it's your normal. Then it's your. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I felt pre-transition, right? A ridiculous number of things were wrong, and like now thinking back on it,
that's life. That's what I'm supposed to feel like. Apparently, just shitty all the time.
Exactly, right? So before I transitioned, I didn't know any better. Now comparing back, I am absolutely horrified. But before transition, I didn't know any better. I guess I thought that I could. I don't know. Just floating in this abyss, swimming in a random direction. Yeah, basically everything feels very directionless and pointless. That's really why I'm here. Yeah, purpose can help sometimes. But I can't escape myself. That's very true.
Faye says it's very relatable. JP
Right?
says living in a log cabin in the middle of Canada has been their fallback plan for ages.
Fair. Super
So-
fair.
In Canada, where there's mad maple syrup.
Yeah, in Canada, where, as we've learned via this game, there are deadly winds, alternate versions of yourself, and super moose.
Yeah, JP, don't build your cabin on a mountain where there's moose.
Or evil JP.
Or where there's an evil JP. Yeah, definitely don't build your log cabin anywhere near an evil twin. We would strongly recommend against that.
You know, yeah, it's like the number one thing you want to ask your realtor about, are there evil twins? Aw, Theo. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? When you're depressed, as soon as you have an accomplishment, you cast it aside. It doesn't feel like anything. It's so easy to like dismiss it and rationalize how it wasn't really you. You're a little intense, but you're a good person. Yay.
Actually, Faye has made a fantastic suggestion, and that is to tame the moose and use them as your guard.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh my God,
Like
yes.
Moose Guardians. I can see that. Yeah.
Moose guardian.
I can already see Faye the Forest Queen riding a moose out of the Canadian wilderness. I think you're just trying to push out of that rut you're stuck in. Yeah, exactly. And it's a totally legit reason to climb the mountain. You know what? Honestly, yeah, sometimes giving yourself a challenge that you feel is actually worth doing is actually helpful, as long as you don't beat yourself up about not always making consistent progress or anything like that. At least in my opinion. Obviously, there are many opinions. There's no correct way to deal with these issues. Is part of you. I love that everything's color-coded, so we
Yeah.
always know. That's haunting you. Maybe she comes with the territory. Yeah, she's all the bad stuff. I think I'm stuck with her forever. Well, she's stuck with you too, truth. That's not helpful, isn't it? So, yeah, that's actually an interesting conversation too, right? Because I feel like evil Maddie sometimes is just regular Maddie that sets boundaries. At least with Oshiro was like that, right? Where like there was at least, I mean, I'm not saying she was right or that she was gentle about it, but there was at least a point when Maddie, like evil Maddie, had a point that like it's just time to say it's time to set a boundary, and like we just weren't doing it, right? It can happen.
So do you think she interprets evil Maddie as being evil because she's setting boundaries and she's not comfortable with this?
I think it's always a gray area, right? And I think that it's easy to lean too much in either direction, right? You can give too much of yourself and not set any boundaries, and that's not good. You can also be too closed off and too quick to anger or to cast people aside, and that's also not good, which I think is what Maddie does. So if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Maddie as opposed to Waddy, right? Because she's more open and helpful. At the same time, I think that it is important, if you are a person like Maddie, to set boundaries even if it makes you feel a little bad.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll have nothing left, right? You can't pour anything out of an empty vessel.
Right. Can you check your mic plug? Make sure it's plugged in properly.
Sorry, more BTS, 1 second. Is that not plugged in properly?
Okay. Yeah, it sounds all right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry if I sounded wild.
Right.
Right,
JP is wondering if they are the evil twin. I think we'll have to refer to Frake on this. Are they their own evil twin?
don't know.
Is JP talking about himself or is JP talking about Maddie?
I was gonna say, I feel like JP's talking about Frank. Are you the evil twin or is JP?
Oh, JP and I are. Oh, that's a good one actually.
Right?
I'm gonna have to agree with Callie on this one. I don't think there's any black and white. I think it's all gray, and JP and I are very much gray twins. I mean, that's very much the case. It's yeah.
There's no black and white.
Yeah, see, I think that's what this conversation is about. She says she's protecting me, but that's obviously not true. I think Maddie is, to a degree, trying to protect Maddie. She's just doing it in a toxic way.
Exactly.
Which is obviously not good, but like, the idea...
Not all actions that have a negative impact on people are like bad intentions, or like a lot of, for example, bad parenting is done by good parents or like decent people, for example.
I mean, I do think it's important to note that like if you do harm, even if that wasn't your intention, you still did harm. You should acknowledge that. You should apologize for that and fix that and do your best to improve. And I don't think you can be angry at anyone for being mad that you've done them harm, even if that wasn't your intention. But yeah, like in this case, I mean, yeah, I think that she's right that, or Theo's right that, that part of Maddie might be trying to protect her. It's just being overzealous about it.
Like it doesn't always have to be like this cartoonish like evil twin in this case who wants to be evil and do harm. It can also just be like, again, like you said, like a defense mechanism gone wrong, like gone awry.
Yeah.
JP notes owning up to mistakes.
Yes. It's important to own up to your mistakes, and I think part of that is also understanding that just because you've done the work to own up to it doesn't mean anyone owes you an apology.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't mean that it's not worth doing the work to own up to it and grow as a person, even if the other person's not willing to forgive you for it.
Because it's good for yourself too. It helps you learn and grow, and it helps you forgive yourself as well for things. You don't even always need someone else to forgive you, and no one is obligated to forgive you, but it's always worth it to work on forgiving yourself, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Are you close to your grandpa, Theo? He was. Oof. Ouch. Yeah, I guess so. Man, this game was like, how about we pack a ton of really important conversations into one chapter?
Yeah, I know. It's one hell of a fire those two are burning.
Right? Like, man. Meaningful life, because that's what he would want. Yeah, fair. I feel that, right? Sometimes it's all you can do.
But maybe this is also realistic. You can imagine people exchanging a lot of vulnerable content, of their lives, like in a single intense conversation. If like this was smattered around a bunch of random other conversations, I think that would be weird,
Yeah, and I do also like that, at least for me, like, at night around a campfire, like spaces like that removed from everything feel very liminal and like removed from the rest of the world, and almost like they're their own special little space,
And the thing is that, like, with this presentation, it feels like it feels like it's the game stating this is something worth paying attention to, and this is something that deserves your attention. Whereas if this would have been, like you said, Andrew, like smattered around the entire game, it could have been easily seen as just like fun little bits of dialogue to liven up the experience, and a lot of people would way easier, I think, ignore that, for example, or just go on with playing the game. And this way, it's like it's right there. Like this is an integral part of the experience of Celeste.
And you can't miss it.
Yeah.
No, you can't miss it. You gotta have the conversation. Their sound design, by the way, is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, the music, the voices, everything. I mean, but see, here I sympathize with Maddie. Sometimes when I'm really worked up or I find myself in a rut, trying to relax doesn't work. I kind of need a new challenge to conquer.
Hawaii, or take a bath.
Yeah, go to Hawaii, or take a bath.
Just like the one or the other.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the invention of like hot running water inside a house is like one of the dopest things ever.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm a sucker for this.
Yeah, watching historical dramas is definitely reminding me to be thankful of that. But so this is actually also cool. So she says she felt like she needed to accomplish something. And I think this ties back to a concept I heard about a while back that I thought was really interesting, where I think someone posited that one of the keys to overcoming depression is not self-confidence, which implies optimism, but rather self-efficacy, which is the belief that if you work at something, you can actually accomplish it. Right? The belief that it is possible, it just will take some work. And that self-efficacy they felt is what a lot of depressed people are missing and get back by accomplishing really anything while they're in that state and then feeling better and then going on to accomplish more things. And I know that, again, there's no right way or one way to get through these things. I know for me, that was definitely true and that definitely helped. And this is why, like, if I'm in a rut, I don't go take a bath or go to Hawaii, I find something to accomplish.
You don't just go to Hawaii whenever you're feeling
Yeah, I don't
shitty?
just go to Hawaii on a whim. As it turns out, I don't just like fly right out.
You're so weird.
You know, I mean, there's so much to think about there. I mean, I just
sometimes when I'm feeling shitty, I take a warm shower. Life does feel a lot better afterwards.
that's fair. That is fair. But have you considered taking a cool shower? It wakes you right the hell up. But yeah, I just watched.
He says he's always thrown himself into his work.
Yeah, fair.
I
Super
definitely
fair.
do this too.
Yeah, I understand that. Same here. Plus, you know, if you've seen White Lotus recently, Hawaii is like the last place you want to go.
I'm literally going to watch the season 1 finale tonight.
Yes. Okay.
I started watching it like a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine, and tonight we're gonna watch the season 1 finale and the season 2 premiere. So that should be fun.
Nice. Yeah, I saw the whole thing, all 2 seasons, and it was awesome.
So much fun. I'm
Kinda
loving every bit of it so far.
Marathoned through it recently.
Faye throws herself into books.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I do that sometimes too. I have a stack I've been going through recently. And I've been, like, my TBR list, my to be read list has been sitting next to my bed forever. And like now it's like a good 4 or 5 books smaller inside of like about 3 weeks or so.
I do actually also love the technique of action before motivation, where it's basically, it's like the small things. Like, for example, if you're sort of overwhelmed by having to do all the dishes and having to clean up your apartment and having to go outside and doing grocery shopping, stuff like that. Like, for a lot of people, that can feel like too much. And it's hard to find motivation to do those things. And what for a lot of people works, what works for a lot of people, and I've had this myself a couple of times, is where basically try and perform any action before you find the motivation. So instead of, for example, doing all of the dishes in the entire kitchen, and you're like, I'm just gonna go and put all of the cutlery in the dishwasher. Just like this tiny little thing where you're like, I don't have to do the dishes, I don't have to do the entire kitchen, just this one little thing. And then like 90% of the time you will see that as soon as you start doing that one little thing, that one little action, like a lot of times motivation will then sort of slowly come to you, where you're like, well, I'm actually already doing this, I might as well do this now as well. And
I've definitely experienced this because I still have my hard days. And yeah, what I find gets me through those things is I'll break it into the smallest possible steps and promise myself I only have to do the first one. And then oftentimes as a result, I'll end up going through the rest as well. And if it's something I can't break down that easily, I use the 2-minute rule, right? I tell myself, look, I'm gonna try and do it for at least 2 minutes. No matter what, I'm gonna power through at least 2 minutes. Worst case scenario, it's done in 2 minutes and I go sit down. But most of the time, trying to work through it for those 2 minutes gives me the focus to work through the rest, and I don't even notice when the timer goes by. But like, you do need tricks like that to sort of get yourself up and moving to, I think my therapist called it activating, right? You gotta activate yourself. Otherwise you end up just sitting around, and you shouldn't beat yourself up for failing to activate because it is difficult sometimes. But yeah, techniques like this can help make it a little easier and lower that threshold. I also really like that, so this made me think of something. So it's just a silly moment where like Maddie wants to remember this moment. She wants to take a selfie.
Hey, I think I remember that actually from last time.
Right?
Yeah.
I think this is where we stopped last time-ish. And it made me think about the fact that a while back, one of my therapists asked me to start a selfie diary. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? And she said, well, every time you have a significant moment throughout the month, actually pause and take a selfie, like actually do it. And what that'll do is force you to actually focus on the moment instead of whatever's going on in your head. And then later on, you'll have an image of it so that when you have trouble forming memories, you can go back over the pleasant memories of the month. And you'll have like this like reminder of what happened. Because you had to pause to do a task, you sort of remember it a little more.
That's pretty cool.
And I have to admit, it actually helped. My friends who were here in Amsterdam probably remember my selfie phase. But like, it actually helped. So if you're having trouble with that, a selfie diary might help. Like actually pause to take a selfie whenever you're having a good moment, even if you're not feeling great at the moment. Because you can go flip back through them later and actually remember the good things that happened this month, so the good memories don't escape.
Still, it's the smug look. It's weird.
Yeah, the smugness and the niceness to get. Oh,
Okay, that's adorable.
Okay, he's really cute there. Oh,
Hearts.
all right. They use proper selfie technique as well. I appreciate it.
What? There's a proper selfie tech. Have I been taking improper selfies?
Probably, yeah. So you got to take them from an upward angle and with good lighting, and then you got to look kind of up at the camera. You got to tilt your head down a little bit.